Your biggest advantage in life is knowing yourself better than anyone else. Most people never build that advantage. They learn what others expect. They learn how to fit in. They learn how to stay busy, but they never learn how they actually think, feel, or decide. That is why life feels confusing even when they are doing everything they were told was right. Know yourself better than anyone because every choice you make comes from you. Not from your job, not from your past, not from advice online, from you. When you do not understand yourself, your decisions feel heavy. You second guess. You change direction often. You stay stuck in patterns you cannot explain. Think about your own life for a moment. How many times have you reacted instead of choosing? How often have you ignored a feeling because it did not make sense at the time? Those moments are not small. They shape your future. This video is not here to entertain you. It is here to help you slow down and look clearly at yourself. If you are tired of guessing who you are and why you do what you do, stay here. Understanding yourself is not a luxury. It is the foundation of everything that works. Number 1, learn what you want before listening to anyone else. Most people listen first and think later. They listen to parents, friends, teachers, bosses, social media, and the noise never stops. By the time they slow down enough to hear their own thoughts, they are already tired, confused, and frustrated. Knowing yourself better than anyone begins with learning what you want before listening to anyone else. That single discipline can change the direction of your entire life. From the time you wake up, the world has an opinion ready for you. It tells you how to dress, how to work, how to succeed, how fast you should move, and what success should look like. If you accept all of that without question, you slowly lose touch with yourself. You might look successful on the outside while feeling empty on the inside. That feeling does not come from failure. It comes from living a life that belongs to someone else. The quiet discomfort you feel at night when everything is done for the day is often your inner voice asking for attention. Learning what you want requires honesty. And honesty is uncomfortable. It means admitting that some goals you chase are not yours. It means accepting that certain paths you stay on no longer feel right. Many people stay busy to avoid this moment. They keep noise around them because silence forces them to face questions they have avoided for years. Silence has weight. It brings up thoughts you pushed aside. It reminds you of dreams you ignored. That is where real growth begins. When you sit alone and remove distractions, you begin to notice patterns. You notice what excites you and what drains you. You notice how your body reacts to certain ideas. Some thoughts bring energy and focus. Others bring tension and resistance. Your body tells the truth faster than your mouth ever will. Pay attention to that. When someone suggests a path and your chest feels tight, that is information. When an idea brings calm and clarity, that is also information. Learning yourself is learning to listen to these signals instead of ignoring them. Many people confuse wanting approval with wanting success. They chase goals that earn praise, not fulfillment. Praise fades quickly. Fulfillment stays with you. When applause disappears, you are left alone with your choices. That is when self-knowledge matters. If you built your life on approval, you will feel lost when opinions change. If you built your life on self-understanding, you will stay steady even when no one agrees with you. You do not need permission to know what you want. Waiting for approval delays progress. Clarity comes from asking direct questions and answering them honestly. What kind of work makes you feel useful? What kind of life gives you peace at the end of the day? What pace feels right for you? These questions are personal. No one else can answer them for you. Advice can guide, but it should never replace self-judgment. There is pressure to move fast and decide quickly. That pressure often leads to poor decisions. Taking time to learn yourself is not weakness, it is preparation. When you rush decisions without self-clarity, you spend years correcting them. When you slow down and listen first, you move with confidence later. Confidence does not come from loud words. It comes from quiet certainty. People who know themselves are harder to manipulate. They do not chase every new idea. They do not panic when trends change. They do not feel threatened by disagreement. They move with purpose because their direction is clear. That clarity comes from time spent thinking before time spent listening to yourself first sets the filter for all outside input. Daily life gives many chances to practice this. When you feel rushed to say yes, pause and ask if it aligns with what you want. When you feel pressure to impress, ask who you are trying to please. When you feel drained, ask what you are doing out of habit instead of intention. These moments seem small, but they shape your future. Knowing yourself also requires courage, because self-honesty may lead you away from familiar paths. You may realize that a career you worked hard for no longer fit. You may realize that some relationships depend on you staying quiet. Growth often changes dynamics. Not everyone will be comfortable with the version of you who knows what they want. That discomfort is part of progress. Fear often shows up when clarity begins. Fear of disappointing others, fear of being judged, fear of standing alone. These fears are normal, but they are not commands. Acting despite fear builds self-trust. Each time you choose based on your values, instead of pressure, you strengthen your confidence. Confidence grows through action aligned with self-knowledge. Learning what you want also means understanding your limits. It means knowing what pace you can sustain without burning out. It means recognizing when rest is necessary. Pushing beyond your limits to match others leads to exhaustion. Respecting your limits leads to longevity. Your life is not a race against anyone else. Many people ask how long this process takes. It takes as long as it takes. Self-knowledge deepens over time. What matters is consistency. Small daily reflection creates big long-term clarity. Ask yourself at the end of the day what felt right and what felt forced. These reflections add up. Over time, patterns become clear. Listening to others before yourself often leads to regret. Regret is heavy. It shows up as frustration and self-doubt. Avoiding regret requires ownership. Ownership begins with knowing what you want and accepting responsibility for pursuing it. Responsibility is empowering. It puts you back in control. You are not required to explain your desires to everyone. Some goals are personal and need protection. Sharing too early invites opinions that can weaken commitment. Learn yourself privately. Build strength quietly. Results speak louder than explanations. Knowing yourself also improves decision-making. Decisions become simpler when your priorities are clear. You stop overthinking because the answer aligns with your values. Clarity removes confusion. Confusion comes from competing priorities. Competing priorities come from listening to too many voices. Time is your most valuable resource. Spending it on goals that are not yours is costly. Years pass quickly. The regret of wasted time is painful. Choosing based on self-understanding makes time meaningful. Even challenges feel worthwhile when they serve your values. Learning what you want is not selfish. It allows you to contribute more effectively. When you operate from alignment, your energy increases, your focus sharpens, your impact grows. People benefit more from someone who knows themselves than from someone who tries to please everyone. You will make mistakes along the way. Mistakes are part of learning. The key is learning from them instead of repeating them. Reflection turns mistakes into lessons. Lessons build wisdom. Wisdom guides future choices. Your inner voice grows stronger with use. At first, it may feel quiet or uncertain. That is normal. Years of ignoring it make it soft. Give it attention. Respect it. Over time, it becomes clear and confident. Listening to others has value, but only after you know yourself. Advice works best when filtered through self-knowledge. Without that filter, advice becomes noise. With it, advice becomes insight. Your life direction should feel earned, not borrowed. Earned through thought, experience, reflection, and choice. Borrowed paths often collapse under pressure. Earned paths endure challenges. Every day offers a chance to choose awareness. Choose to pause before agreeing. Choose reflect before reacting. Choose to listen inward before outward. These choices shape identity. Knowing yourself better than anyone is a lifelong practice. It evolves as you grow. Stay curious about yourself. Stay honest. Stay willing to adjust. Growth requires flexibility and courage. When you learn what you want before listening to anyone else, you reclaim ownership of your life. Ownership brings responsibility. Responsibility brings power. Power used wisely creates fulfillment. Stand firm in your values. Move at your pace. Trust your judgment. Life becomes clearer when you know who you are and what you want. That clarity is the foundation for confidence, purpose, and lasting success. Number 2, pay attention to how you feel every single day. That sounds simple, but it is one of the most powerful disciplines a person can develop. Feelings are not random. They are signals. They are feedback. They are early warnings and quiet confirmations. When ignored long enough, they turn into frustration, burnout, and regret. Most people wake up already rushing. They grab their phone, check messages, scroll news, and step straight into other people's moods and problems. Before breakfast, they have already absorbed stress, anger, comparison, and pressure. Then they wonder why they feel tired, unmotivated, or irritated for no clear reason. The reason is clear. They never stopped to notice how they felt when the day began. Awareness was missing from the start. Your feelings tell you how your life is lining up with your values. When your actions match who you are, you feel steady, focused, and calm, even during difficulty. When your actions fight against who you are, you feel tension, resistance, and emotional fatigue. This shows up long before feds fall apart. The body and mind speak early, but most people are too distracted to listen. Paying attention to how you feel is not about being emotional or dramatic. It is about being alert. A farmer watches the weather closely, not because he is anxious, but because timing matters. In the same way, watching your inner state helps you make better decisions before problems grow. When you ignore discomfort, it grows. When you face it early, it becomes manageable. Many people only ask themselves how they feel when something breaks down. When they are exhausted, angry, or overwhelmed. By then, damage has already been done. Relationships suffer, health declines. Motivation disappears. The discipline is noticing small shifts early. A slight loss of interest, a quiet sense of dread on Sunday night, a tight feeling before work. These are signs asking for attention, not judgment. Feelings are not commands, but they are information. You do not have to act on every feeling, but you should never ignore them. Ignoring feelings does not make them disappear. It pushes them underground where they influence behavior without permission. That is when people snap, quit suddenly, or sabotage progress without understanding why. Daily awareness builds emotional intelligence in real life, not in theory. You begin to see patterns. You notice that certain conversations leave you drained. Certain environments lift your energy. Certain habits calm your mind. Certain commitments create stress. Once you see patterns, you gain choice. Choice is power. Many people live in reaction mode. They react to emails, messages, deadlines, and opinions. Reaction creates stress because it removes control. Awareness restores control. When you know how you heal, you can pause before reacting. You respond instead of react. Responses are thoughtful. Reactions are impulsive. Checking in with yourself does not take hours. It takes moments. Ask simple questions throughout the day. How do I feel right now? What changed since this morning? What triggered this mood? What am I avoiding? These questions create clarity. Clarity reduces anxiety. Some people fear paying attention to feelings because they worry it will slow them down. The opposite is true. Ignoring feelings slows you down in the long run through burnout, poor decisions, and lost direction. Awareness speeds progress because it keeps you aligned. Your energy level is one of the clearest indicators. Energy does not lie. When you feel consistently drained, something is off. It may be how you work, who you spend time with, or how you treat yourself. High energy does mean constant excitement. It means steady engagement and focus. Mood swings often point to unresolved issues. If small problems cause strong reactions, there is usually something deeper beneath the surface. Paying attention helps you trace reactions back to their source. This prevents repeating the same conflicts again and again. Dare feelings also reveal what you believe about yourself. Feelings of constant guilt, pressure, or inadequacy often come from unrealistic expectations. Awareness helps you challenge those expectations. You begin to separate real responsibility from unnecessary self-criticism. When you pay attention to how you feel, you improve relationships. You communicate more honestly. You set clearer boundaries. You stop pretending everything is fine when it is not. Honesty builds respect even when conversations are uncomfortable. Ignoring feelings often leads to people-pleasing. You say yes when you mean no. You stay silent when something matters. Over time, resentment builds. Awareness interrupts this cycle early. You notice discomfort and address it before it becomes anger. Many people confuse strength with suppression. True strength is awareness and choice. Suppression creates internal pressure. Pressure eventually leaks out. Awareness releases pressure through understanding. Your feelings change throughout the day. That is normal. The key is noticing trends, not judging moments. Everyone has low moments. What matters is recognizing when lows become patterns. Patterns require action. Paying attention also improves focus. When your mind feels scattered, it often reflects overload. Awareness prompts adjustment. You may need rest, fewer commitments, or clearer priorities. Focus returns when you respect limits. Self-awareness builds confidence quietly. When you understand yourself, you trust your reactions and decisions more. You stop second-guessing everything. Confidence grows from self-understanding, not loud behavior. Daily emotional awareness also helps you recover faster from setbacks. When disappointment hits you, recognize it without drowning in it. You process it and move forward. Ignored disappointment lingers and drains motivation. Some people avoid feelings because they fear vulnerability. But vulnerability with yourself is strength. It allows room. Avoidance keeps you stuck, repeating familiar pain. Your feelings can guide career decisions. Persistent dissatisfaction is a signal, not laziness. It asks you to evaluate direction, skills, environment, and values. Many people stay unhappy because they ignore this signal too long. Paying attention to feelings helps manage. Stress builds when demands exceed capacity. Awareness helps you adjust before collapse. You learn to pace yourself. Daily check-ins create self-respect. You treat your inner experience as valuable. This builds integrity. Integrity creates peace. When you ignore how you feel, you give control to circumstances. When you notice how you feel, you regain control. Control creates stability. Awareness does not mean overthinking. It means noticing and adjusting. Like steering a vehicle, small corrections keep you on course. Large corrections come from ignoring the road too long. Your feelings also reveal progress. Pride, satisfaction, calm, focus are signs you are moving in the right direction. Celebrate those moments. They reinforce good choices. Many people chase motivation without understanding emotion. Motivation follows clarity. Clarity comes from awareness. Paying attention daily keeps you honest. You cannot lie to yourself forever when you listen closely. Honesty fuels growth. Life does not ask for perfection. It asks for awareness. Awareness leads to improvement. Each day is feedback. Your years are the report. Read it carefully. When you develop this discipline, life feels less confusing. Decisions become clearer. Stress reduces. Confidence grows. Pay attention to how you feel every single day, and your life will stop drifting and start responding. Number 3, ask yourself hard questions others never ask. Most people avoid this because hard questions create discomfort. Discomfort exposes truth. Truth demands change, and change feels risky. So people stay busy. They stay entertained. They stay distracted. They stay surrounded by noise, so they never have to sit with questions that challenge who they are and how they live. Easy questions keep life comfortable. Hard questions move life forward. Easy questions sound like, why is this happening to me? Or who is to blame? Or when will things get better? Hard questions sound very different. Hard questions ask, what am I doing that keeps creating this result? What am I avoiding because it scares me? What responsibility am I refusing to accept? These questions do not attack you. They wake you up. Most people ask questions that protect their ego. They want answers that make them feel right, innocent, or justified. Growth does not come from being right. Growth comes from being honest. Honest questions strip away Excuses. They shine a light on habits, patterns, and decisions that feel uncomfortable to admit. That discomfort is not a sign you are doing something wrong. It is a sign you are doing something important. Hard questions are rarely asked in crowds. They are asked in quiet moments, when there is no one to impress. Late at night when the day is done. Early in the morning, before the world starts talking. These are the moments when truth speaks clearly. But only if you are willing to listen without defending yourself. One hard question is, why do I keep repeating the same problems? Many people blame circumstances, luck, or other people. Patterns repeat because behavior repeats. Until behavior changes, results remain familiar. This question forces you to look at choices instead of conditions. That is uncomfortable, but powerful. Another hard question is, what am I settling for because it feels safe? Safety often disguises itself as comfort. Comfort can slowly drain ambition, confidence, and self-respect. Settling rarely feels dramatic. It feels quiet. It feels like postponing dreams. It feels like saying maybe someday. Asking this question forces you to confront time and how you are using it. People rarely ask themselves what they are afraid of losing if they change. Fear of change often hides behind logic. Logic says this is realistic, or this is practical. Fear says, what if I fail, or what if people judge me, or what if I disappoint someone? Hard questions bring fear into the open where it can be examined instead of obeyed. Another question most people avoid is, what kind of person am I becoming through my daily habits? Habits shape identity. Identity shapes destiny. You do not wake up one day as someone you do not recognize. You slowly become that person through small, repeated choices. This question forces you to look at direction, not just intention. Many people ask, what do I want? But few ask, what am I willing to give up to get it? Every goal has a cost. Time, comfort, approval, and convenience are often the price. If you are unwilling to pay the price, the goal remains a wish. Hard questions reveal whether desire is strong or casual. Another difficult question is, where am I lying to myself? Self-deception is subtle. It sounds reasonable. It explains away behavior. It says this is just how things are. Growth begins when you catch yourself justifying what you know is not aligned with who you want to be. Hard questions also include, who benefits from me staying the same? Sometimes others benefit from your silence, your predictability, or your lack of boundary. Change can threaten comfort for people around you. This question helps you understand resistance you may face and prepares you to stand firm. Many people never ask, what am I avoiding thinking about? Avoidance consumes energy. What you avoid controls you. When you face it, you often find it is less powerful than imagined. Avoidance shrinks confidence. Confrontation builds it. Another powerful question is, what would my life look like if I stopped blaming? Blame gives temporary relief, but permanent stagnation. Responsibility feels heavy at first, but it gives freedom. When you own your choices, you gain the power to change them. Hard questions also reveal values. Ask yourself what you defend even when it costs you. What you protect shows what matters. Values guide decisions when options are unclear. Without clear values, life becomes reactive. Ask yourself what advice you keep giving others, but never follow. Often you already know what to do. Knowledge is not the problem, action is. This question exposes gaps between awareness and behavior. Another question most people avoid is, what am I doing to earn the life I say I want? Desire without discipline leads to frustration. This question removes fantasy and replaces it with reality. Reality is where progress happens. Hard questions can bring guilt or regret. That is part of the process. Do not confuse discomfort with damage. Growth often begins with discomfort, followed by clarity. Clarity leads to direction. Many people fear hard questions because they think answers will overwhelm them. In truth, unanswered questions cause more stress than honest answers. Ambiguity drains energy. Clarity restores it. Ask yourself, what am I tolerating that is slowly draining me? Tolerance accumulates. Small frustrations ignored daily turn into major dissatisfaction. This question helps you identify what needs boundaries. Another question is, who am I becoming proud of or disappointed in? When I look at myself honestly, self-respect is built through alignment. When actions match values, pride grows. When they do not, disappointment appears. Awareness allows correction. Hard questions also help you stop wasting time. Time feels abundant until it does not. Asking what deserves my energy today sharpens focus. Focus creates momentum. Most people wait for a crisis to ask these questions. Wise people ask them regularly. Regular reflection prevents crisis. Do not rush answers. Let questions sit. Let them challenge you. Let them reveal truths gradually. Growth is not an event. It is a process. Asking hard questions builds courage. Each honest answer strengthens self-trust. Self-trust leads to confidence. Confidence allows action. People who ask hard questions live intentionally. People who avoid them live accidentally. Intentional living feels lighter even when challenging. Hard questions are acts of self-respect. They say, my life matters enough to examine. My future matters enough to question. You do not need perfect answers. You need honest ones. Honesty leads to progress. Ask yourself hard questions others never ask, and you will start living a life few people dare to build. Number 4. Notice what you enjoy even when nobody claps. That quiet enjoyment tells the truth about who you are. Applause is loud but short-lived. Enjoyment, without an audience, is honest. Many people never learn the difference, and they spend years chasing reactions instead of satisfaction. From a young age, people are trained to seek approval. Good grades get praise. Loud success gets attention. Public wins get celebrated. Slowly, the message sinks in that value comes from response. Over time, this can disconnect you from what actually feels right. You start choosing activities based on how they look instead of how they feel. That creates a life that performs well but feels empty. Pay attention to moments when you lose track of time without anyone watching. Those moments matter. They reveal interests that are not dependent on validation. They show you what naturally holds your focus. Focus without force is a clue. It points toward alignment. Alignment brings energy instead of draining it. Many people only feel motivated when someone is watching. When praise disappears, effort fades. That dependence is fragile. Real fulfillment grows from activities you would still do in silence. The work you enjoy privately builds skill quietly. Skill builds confidence internally. Internal confidence does not collapse when opinions change. Enjoyment, without applause, often feels simple. It might not look impressive. It may not fit popular definitions of success. That simplicity is powerful. It means your motivation is rooted inside. Inside motivation is longer than external pressure. Ask yourself what you do when you are alone that feels satisfying. It could be reading, learning, building, organizing, helping, or thinking. These activities often go unnoticed, but they shape character. Character determines long-term success more than image. Many people abandon what they enjoy because it does not bring quick recognition. They trade joy for attention. Attention fades quickly. Joy compounds over time. The things you enjoy quietly become strengths if you stay with them long enough. Notice how your body responds during private enjoyment. Shoulders relax. Breathing steadies. Mind sharpens. These signals indicate alignment. Alignment reduces stress and increases clarity. When you depend on applause, you become reactive. You adjust behavior to maintain approval. That creates anxiety. When you enjoy something regardless of response, you become grounded. Grounded people move with calm confidence. This awareness also protects you from burnout. Burnout often comes from doing things you do not enjoy for reasons that do not matter to you. Enjoyment acts as fuel. Without it, effort becomes heavy. Some people fear admitting what they enjoy because it does not match expectations. Expectations come from others. Fulfillment comes from self-honesty. Choosing fulfillment may require disappointing others. That discomfort is temporary. Living disconnected from yourself lasts much longer. Enjoyment without clapping builds self-trust. Each time you choose what feels right privately, you reinforce your judgment. Strong judgment leads to better decisions across life. Pay attention to activities you return to, even after breaks. If you stop and come back willingly, that indicates genuine interest. Forced persistence feels certain. Genuine interest pulls you back naturally. Many people confuse talent with passion. Talent may bring praise quickly. Passion brings persistence quietly. Persistence builds mastery. Mastery eventually earns respect even without asking for it. When you enjoy something privately, you also develop patience. You are not rushing for results. You are engaged in process. Process focus leads to quality. Quality sustains success. Notice how often you down your quiet interests. You might call them hobbies or distractions. In reality, they may be foundations for meaningful work. Many impactful careers begin as private interests, nurtured without applause. This awareness helps you choose work environments wisely. Some environments reward noise over substance. Others value consistency and depth. Knowing what you enjoy helps you choose places where you can thrive. Enjoyment without an audience also strengthens resilience. When challenges come, you have inner resources. You know what restores you. You are not dependent on external reassurance. Ask yourself what you would continue doing if recognition stopped today. Those answers reveal your core motivations. Core motivations guide long-term decisions better than trends. Many people feel lost because they abandoned these quiet enjoyments early. They were told to be practical. Without joy leads to emptiness. Joy without direction leads to stagnation. Balance comes from honoring both. Enjoyment also sharpens learning. When you enjoy something, learning feels natural. Curiosity grows. Skill improves. Improvement brings confidence. Confidence encourages contribution. Notice when you feel content without sharing achievements. Contentment without broadcasting indicates inner satisfaction. Inner satisfaction creates stability. This practice also improves relationships. When you are fulfilled privately, you seek less validation from others. That reduces pressure and conflict. Relationships become healthier. People who know what they enjoy privately are less likely to compare themselves constantly. Comparison thrives on public metrics. Private enjoyment weakens its influence. You do not need to turn everything you enjoy into income. Some enjoyments are meant to nourish, not monetize. Respecting that protects joy. Notice resistance when you try to dismiss quiet interests. Resistance signals fear of judgment. Fear loses power when acknowledged. Over time, these quiet requirements shape identity. Identity influences direction. Direction creates momentum. When applause does come, it becomes a bonus, not a requirement. You appreciate it without needing it. The world needs people who are driven by inner satisfaction. They create consistently. They contribute thoughtfully. They endure challenges. Pay attention to what you enjoy even when nobody claps, and you will build a life rooted in authenticity, not noise. That foundation supports confidence, purpose, and lasting fulfillment. Number 5. Stop copying lives that never felt like yours. Many people do this without realizing it. They borrow goals, routines, opinions, and timelines from others and then wonder why motivation fades and frustration grows. The problem is not lack of effort. The problem is borrowed direction from the outside. Copying can look smart. You see someone winning and you think following their path will lead to the same result. What you do not see is their inner wiring, their priorities, their tolerance for pressure, and their personal reasons. You only see highlights, not the cost. When you try to live someone else's structure, you carry weight that was never meant for you. Copying often begins early. You are praised for fitting in. You are rewarded for following examples. Over time, this trains you to look outward for answers instead of inward. Eventually, your own voice becomes quiet. Decisions feel forced. Progress feels heavy. That is the cost of imitation without alignment. A borrowed life always feels slightly uncomfortable. You may succeed by outside standards yet feel restless inside. That restlessness is not ingratitude. It is misalignment. Your mind knows when you are walking a road that does not match your nature. Many people keep copying because stopping feels risky. Copying feels safer because it comes with proof. Someone else already did it. The risk feels lower, but safety without meaning creates slow dissatisfaction. Risk with meaning creates growth even when it is difficult. When you copy, you also copy pressure. You compare pace, income, appearance, habits, and milestones. Comparison creates constant tension. No matter how far you go, someone always appears ahead. That tension drains joy from progress. Notice how your energy changes when you try to follow someone else's lifestyle. Motivation feels forced. Discipline feels heavy. These are signals. When something fits, discipline feels lighter, because effort has purpose. People often confuse admiration with instruction. You can respect someone without replicating their choices. Their success does not require your imitation. Learning principles is useful. Copying structure without self-awareness is not. Another cost of copying is loss of patience. You rush because someone else reached milestones faster. You forget that different paths have different timelines. Rushing a path that is not yours leads to mistakes and burnout. When you stop copying, you regain curiosity. You start asking what actually fits you. What pace feels sustainable? What environment brings focus? What kind of success feels satisfying at the end of the day? These questions bring clarity. Clarity builds confidence. Confidence grows when actions feel authentic. Authentic actions reduce internal conflict. Internal peace improves performance. Copying also weakens decision-making. You hesitate because you are unsure if a choice matches the borrowed plan. When you choose your own path, decisions feel clearer, because they are grounded in self-understanding. Many people fear judgment if they stop copying. Judgment often comes from those who are also copying and feel threatened by difference. Staying true may invite questions. Questions fade. Results last. A life that fits you may look simple to others. Simplicity does not mean lack of ambition. It means focused ambition. Focused ambition produces consistent results. When you stop copying, you accept responsibility. Responsibility can feel heavy, but it is empowering. You are no longer blaming trends, mentors, or examples. You are choosing deliberately. This Sith also improves resilience. When setbacks happen, you do not question your entire direction. Because it was never borrowed, you adjust instead of abandon. Notice where you adopted habits that never felt natural. Early mornings, late nights. Constant hustle. Constant visibility. Some thrive there. Others do not. Knowing the difference protects health and motivation. Your strengths often appear in places you stopped paying attention to, because they did not look impressive. When you stop copying, you rediscover those strengths. Strengths used consistently create momentum. Copying also affects identity. You begin to measure yourself by standards that were never designed for you. This creates constant self-doubt. When you define success personally, self-doubt loses power. Another hidden cost is resentment. You resent the path you chose because it feels forced. Resentment eventually turns into quitting or bitterness. Alignment prevents this cycle. Stopping copying does not mean isolation. It means selective learning. You listen without surrendering judgment. You adapt instead of adopt. Your life experiences shape preferences. Preferences matter. Ignoring them creates friction. Honoring them creates flow. Many people delay this realization until burnout forces change. Wise people adjust early. Early adjustment saves years. When you choose your own direction, you move slower at first. That slowness is strategic. It builds foundation. Foundation supports growth. You also attract the right opportunities. When you are clear, opportunities align. When you copy, opportunities confuse. People who stop copying become original contributors. Original contribution creates value. Value creates demand. Stop copying lives that never felt like yours, and you will stop fighting yourself. Energy returns. Focus sharpens. Progress becomes personal. Your path does not need approval to be valid. It needs alignment. When you live aligned, effort feels meaningful. Meaning sustains effort. This choice is not dramatic. It is quiet. It happens in daily decisions. What you say yes to, what you say no to, how you measure success. Make the decision to live your life, not a version borrowed from someone else. That decision changes value. Number 6. Check your choices and see if they feel honest. I want to talk with you about something that quietly shapes the quality of your life more than talent, luck, or opportunity. Check your choices and see if they feel honest. Life is built choice by choice. Not the big dramatic ones only, but the small daily ones that seem harmless. Those small choices either build inner strength or slowly weaken it. Honesty and choice is the difference. Many people make choices that look right on the outside, but feel wrong on the inside. They explain them away with logic. They say it makes sense. They say it is necessary. They say everyone does it. But something inside feels tight, uneasy, or heavy. That feeling matters. It is not weakness. It is awareness, asking for attention. Dishonest choices rarely feel loud. They feel quiet and uncomfortable. They show up as mild guilt, delayed stress, or a sense of pretending. Over time, those feelings stack up. People then wonder why confidence drops and motivation fades. Confidence is built when actions match values. When they do not match, confidence leaks away slowly. Honest choices feel clean even when they are hard. You may feel nervous or challenged, but you do not feel divided inside. There is a difference between fear and inner conflict. Fear comes from growth. Inner conflict comes from misalignment. Learning to tell the difference changes decision-making. Many people do not check honesty because they are afraid of what they will find. Honesty may require change. Change may require letting go. Letting go feels risky. So people keep choosing what feels familiar, even when it feels wrong. Look at the reasons behind your decision. Are you choosing out of fear or out of alignment? Fear-based choices aim to avoid discomfort. Honest choices aim to build self-respect. Short-term comfort often creates long-term dissatisfaction. Short-term discomfort often creates long-term stability. Dishonest choices often involve pleasing others at your own expense. You say yes when you mean no. You stay silent when something matters. Over time, resentment builds. Resentment poisons relationships and self-image. Honest choices protect both. Check how your body reacts after a decision. Relief mixed with regret is a sign of dishonesty. Calm mixed with challenge is a sign of honesty. Your body keeps score. It reacts faster than your thoughts. Many people believe honesty means confrontation or drama. That is not true. Honesty can be quiet. It can be a private decision to stop something. It can be a boundary set calmly. It can be a choice to act differently without explanation. Dishonest choices often require constant justification. You explain them repeatedly to yourself and others. Honest choices need little explanation. They feel settled. Look at patterns in your life. Repeated stress often comes from repeated dishonest choices. Repeated peace often comes from consistent honesty. Patterns reveal more than intentions. Checking honesty requires slowing down. Rushed decisions rarely feel honest. Slowing down allows intuition to speak. Intuition is not magic. It is accumulated experience guiding you quietly. People who avoid checking honesty often feel disconnected from themselves. They say they do not know what they want. Often they do know, but they stop listening. Rebuilding that connection starts with small, honest choices. Honest choices strengthen self-trust. Each time you act in alignment, you prove to yourself that your judgment matters. Self-trust builds confidence. Confidence improves performance. Dishonest choices weaken boundaries. When you ignore your limits, you teach others to ignore them too. Honest choices clarify boundaries without conflict. Many people confuse honesty with being harsh. Real is firm and respectful. It does not attack. It states truth and stands by it. Check honesty in how you spend time. Time spent on what matters feels fulfilling. Time spent on what drains you feels heavy. Side never lies. Check honesty in work choices. Are you working from purpose or pressure? Pressure-driven work feels endless. Purpose-driven work feels meaningful, even when tiring. Check honesty in relationships. Are you showing up as yourself or as who you think you should be? Pretending creates distance. Authenticity builds connection. Check honesty in promises. Promises kept build integrity. Promises broken damage self-respect. Integrity is built through alignment, not perfection. Many people fear honest choices because they worry about losing approval. Approval gained these dishonesty costs self-respect. Self-respect lost is difficult to recover. Honest choices may slow progress at first. That slowness is stability. Stability allows sustainable growth. When you check honesty and you reduce internal noise, decisions become clearer. Anxiety reduces. Focus improves. Dishonest choices create mental clutter. You replay conversations. You second-guess actions. Honest choices free mental energy. Look at decisions you regret. Often regret comes from ignoring inner signals. Regret teaches awareness if you listen. Checking honesty does not mean judging yourself. It means observing. Observation leads to adjustment. Some honest choices require courage. Courage grows with practice. Start small. Say no once. Speak up once. Walk away once. Momentum builds. Over time, honest choices shape identity. You become someone who trusts themselves. That identity attracts opportunities that match you. People around you will adjust. Some will respect you more. Some may resist. Resistance is often a sign that honesty is working. Honest choices also improve leadership. People trust consistency. Consistency comes from alignment. Check honesty in your goals. Are they yours or borrowed? Borrowed goals feel empty when achieved. Personal goals feel satisfying. When you choose honesty, you stop fighting yourself. Energy returns. Motivation feels natural. Life does not demand perfection. It demands alignment. Alignment is huge choice by choice. Each honest choice strengthens the next one. Each dishonest choice weakens the next one. Check your choices and see if they feel honest. That habit will guide you when advice fails and opinions conflict. Honesty is not loud. It is steady. Build a life you can stand behind quietly. That is real success. Number 7. Spend quiet time understanding your real thoughts. Not the thoughts shaped by noise, opinions, or pressure, but the thoughts that show up when everything slows down. Most people are rarely alone with their own mind. They fill every gap with sound screens, conversations, and tasks. Then they wonder why they feel confused, anxious, or unsure of direction. Your real thoughts do not shout. They wait. They appear when the noise fades. If you never give them space, they stay buried. Buried thoughts do not disappear. They influence decisions from the background. That is how people end up living lives they never consciously chose. Quiet time is not about escaping responsibility. It is about facing it. When things are quiet, you start noticing what you have been avoiding. You notice unresolved decisions. You notice worries you have been pushing away. You notice ideas that never got attention. This can feel uncomfortable at first. Discomfort is not danger. It is awareness waking up. Most people fear quiet because silence removes distraction. Distraction protects excuses. Without distraction, there is nowhere to hide from your own mind. But hiding has a cost. It costs clarity. It costs confidence. It costs peace. Your real thoughts reveal patterns. Patterns about what you want. Patterns about what drains you. Patterns about what you tolerate. These patterns guide behavior, whether you notice them or not. Quiet time brings them into view, so you can choose differently. Noise creates reaction. Quiet creates reflection. Reflection creates understanding. Understanding creates direction. Direction reduces stress. Stress often comes from moving without direction. Spend time alone without an agenda. No phone. No music. No problem solving. Just observe. Notice what your mind returns to again and again. Repeated thoughts are messages asking for attention. Ignoring them does not make them go away. Listening allows resolution. Real thoughts are often simpler than you expect. They are not dramatic. They are direct. They may say something is not working. They may say you need rest. They may say you are not being honest. These messages are easy to dismiss, but costly to ignore. Quiet time also exposes internal conflict. You may notice tension between what you say you want and how you live. That tension creates fatigue. Awareness is the first step toward alignment. Alignment restores energy. Many people believe they do not have time for quiet. The truth is they do not make time. Time is found where priority exists. Quiet time does not require hours. It requires consistency. Even a few minutes daily builds awareness. When you avoid quiet, your mind stays reactive. Every message pulls you. Every opinion sways you. Quiet time strengthens mental independence. You become less influenced by noise and more guided by understanding. Your real thoughts also help you process emotion. Unprocessed emotion leaks into behavior. It shows up as irritation, impatience, or withdrawal. Quiet allows processing. Processing leads to relief. Spend time noticing how your thoughts speak to you. Are they harsh? Are they fearful? are supportive. This reveals your relationship with yourself. A strong relationship with yourself builds resilience. Quiet time improves decision-making. Decisions made from reflection are steady. Decisions made from pressure often lead to regret. Regret is expensive. Reflection is preventive. Many people confuse busyness with progress. Busyness often hides confusion. Quiet reveals what matters. When you know what matters, busyness decreases and focus increases. Quiet time also builds courage. Courage grows when you face truth regularly. Avoided truth grows heavier. Faced truth becomes manageable. Notice what thoughts feel true even when uncomfortable. Truth often carries weight, but also relief. Relief comes from alignment. Quiet time does not isolate you from the world. It prepares you for it. You engage more clearly. You communicate more honestly. You react less emotionally. Your real thoughts help you identify energy. You notice where you feel pressured. Pressure often signals a boundary, needing attention. Boundaries protect energy. Spend quiet time noticing your inner dialogue around success. Are your standards borrowed or personal? Borrowed standards create constant comparison. Personal standards create satisfaction. Quiet reveals priorities. When everything stops, what matters surfaces. That clarity guides choices. Many people chase motivation. Motivation follows clarity. Clarity follows quiet. Quiet time also strengthens patience. You learn to sit with uncertainty without panic. Panic comes from fear of not knowing. Quiet teaches you to trust the process of understanding. Your real thoughts also help you evaluate relationships. You notice who brings ease and who brings tension. Awareness guides healthier interactions. Do not rush this process. Rushing quiet defeats its purpose. Let thoughts arrive naturally. Do not judge them. Observe them. Quiet time helps you separate fear from intuition. Fear feels urgent and loud. Intuition feels calm and steady. Learning this difference improves choices. Most people seek answers outside. Guidance books, mentors, advice. These help, but they should not replace inner understanding. Quiet strengthens your internal compass. Spend quiet time after emotional days. Emotions settle. Lessons emerge. Growth accelerates. Quiet time also improves focus. Mental clutter clears, focus sharpens. Your real thoughts often carry creative ideas. Creativity thrives in space. Noise suffocates it. E-time reveals values. Values guide action when situations are unclear. Many people say they are lost. Often they are just unheard. Their own voice has been ignored too long. Quiet time is an act of self-respect. It says your inner life matters. Self-respect builds confidence. When you understand your real thoughts, you stop chasing every new idea. You choose intentionally. Quiet does not remove problems. It gives perspective. Perspective reduces anxiety. Make quiet time non-negotiable. Protect it. Defend it. Over time, quiet becomes familiar. Familiarity brings trust. Trust in yourself changes everything. Spend quiet time understanding your real thoughts, and you will stop reacting to life and start responding with clarity and confidence. That is how direction is built. Number 8, admit what you need instead of chasing approval. Approval feels good in the moment, but it is a poor foundation for life. Needs ignored do not disappear. They wait. And while they wait, they drain energy, confidence, and clarity. From early on, many people learn that being liked feels safer than being honest. You learn to adjust tone, hide opinions, and delay requests. You learn what gets smiles and what gets silence. Over time, approval becomes a habit. Needs become negotiable. That trade slowly teaches you to doubt yourself. Chasing approval keeps you busy, but unfulfilled. You say yes when you feel tired. You agree when you feel uncertain. You stay quiet when something matters. Each time you do this, you send yourself a message that your needs come last. Repeat it often enough, that message becomes belief. Beliefs shape behavior. When you believe your needs are less important, you stop advocating for them. You expect others to guess. They do not. You feel overlooked. Resentment grows quietly. Admitting what you need requires courage because it risks disapproval. Disapproval feels personal, even when it is not. Many people would rather feel exhausted than rejected. That choice costs more than it seems. Needs are not weaknesses. They are signals. They point to health, balance, and sustainability. Ignoring them leads to burnout. Burnout does not announce itself loudly. It arrives as irritation, loss of interest, and emotional fatigue. Approval seeking often hides behind good intentions. You want harmony, you want peace, you want to avoid conflict. But peace built on self-denial does not last. It creates tension beneath the surface. Notice how approval seeking affects decisions. You choose what looks acceptable instead of what feels necessary. Over time, life becomes a performance. Performances require energy. When energy runs out, collapse follows. Admitting what you need starts privately. You must first be honest with yourself. What support do you need? What rest do you need? What space do you need? What recognition do you need? Naming needs does not make you demanding. It makes you aware. Many people fear that admitting needs will make them look selfish. In truth, it makes relationships clearer. Clear needs prevent misunderstandings. Misunderstandings create conflict. Approval feels unpredictable. Some days it is given freely. Other days it disappears. Needs, when met, create stability. Stability supports growth. Look at areas where you feel frustrated. Frustration often signals unmet needs. Instead of blaming betters, ask what you have not admitted. That question returns power. Approval seeking also distorts identity. You start shaping yourself based on reactions. Reactions change, identity becomes unstable. Admitting needs grounds identity in reality. People who chase approval often feel anxious before decisions. Anxiety asks, will this be accepted? People who honor needs ask, will this sustain me? Sustainability leads to long-term success. Admitting needs does not guarantee others will meet them. That is not the point. The point is self-respect. Self-respect changes how you show up. People respond differently to clarity. When you hide needs, you also hide boundaries. Without boundaries, others fill the space with expectations. Expectations become burdens. Burdens create resentment. Many people wait until they are overwhelmed to speak up. By then, emotion takes over. Calm honesty early prevents emotional reactions later. Approval seeking also affects self-worth. When worth depends on response, it fluctuates. When worth is internal, it steadies. Notice how often you ask for permission instead of expressing needs. Permission seeking delays progress. Expressing needs invites dialogue. Admitting needs improves leadership. Leaders who communicate needs clearly create trust. Teams function better when expectations are clear. Some needs are practical. Time, resources, rest, clarity. Others are emotional. Respect, honesty, appreciation. Both matter. When you ignore emotional needs, they leak out indirectly. Sarcasm, withdrawal, or frustration appear. Direct honesty prevents this. Approval seeking teaches you to avoid disappointment. Avoiding disappointment prevents growth. Growth requires discomfort. Admitting needs requires maturity. Maturity accepts that not everyone will agree. Agreement is not required for integrity. Look at choices driven by fear of judgment. Fear shrinks life. Needs expand it. Approval chasing also wastes time. Time spent managing impressions could be spent building substance. Substance lasts. Impressions fade. When you admit needs, you also learn to meet some yourself. Not all needs must be outsourced. Awareness helps you distinguish. Admitting needs strengthens self-trust. Each honest expression reinforces your voice. Over time, approval loses its grip. It becomes feedback, not fuel. People who honor needs choose environments that respect them. Environment shapes behavior. Behavior shapes results. Approval seeking often keeps people in situations that drain them. Admitting needs opens exits. You may lose some approval when you change. What you gain is alignment. Alignment creates energy. Energy improves performance. Performance attracts respect. Respect feels better than approval. Admitting needs does not mean demanding. It means communicating. Communication builds understanding. Understanding builds cooperation. Cooperation builds healthy relationships. Chasing approval builds dependency. Dependency weakens confidence. Confidence grows from honesty. Honesty requires admitting needs. Start small. Say what you need once. Notice the relief. Relief confirms alignment. Your needs matter because you matter. A life built on approval feels crowded. A life built on honesty feels clear. Choose clarity. Admit what you need instead of chasing approval, and you will stop shrinking yourself to fit expectations. You will stand steadier. You will move forward with less resistance. That is how self-respect turns into strength. Number 9. Decide who you are without outside labels. Labels are everywhere. They are handed to you by family, teachers, employers, friends, and strangers. Some sound positive. Some sound limiting. All of them have one thing in common. They come from outside you. When you live by labels, you live by permission. From a young age, people are described before they are understood. Smart, quiet, difficult, talented, average, successful, behind. These words stick. Over time, they stop sounding like descriptions and start sounding like identity. Identity formed by labels is fragile. It changes when opinions change. That instability creates insecurity. Labels can feel comforting because they simplify things. They tell you where you belong. They tell you what is expected. They tell you what lane to stay in. But comfort, built on labels, restricts growth. Growth requires choice. Labels often remove choice by deciding for you. When you let labels define you, decisions become limited. You avoid opportunities that do not match the label. You hesitate to grow beyond it. You say, that is not me, even when curiosity appears. Curiosity ignored turns into regret. Deciding who you are requires stepping back from descriptions and focusing on values. Values are chosen. Labels are assigned. Values guide behavior when labels fail. Behavior aligned with values builds character. Character builds respect. Outside labels often reflect past behavior, not future potential. People describe who you were, not who you are becoming. If you live by old descriptions, you freeze growth. Growth demands the freedom to change. Many people feel pressure to live up to labels. Positive labels can be as heavy as negative ones. Being known as reliable, strong, or successful can trap you into constant performance. Performance without rest leads to exhaustion. Negative labels damage confidence quietly. They create self-doubt. Self-doubt discourages effort. Discouraged effort reinforces the label. This cycle continues until questioned. Questioning labels is not rebellion. It is responsibility. Responsibility for defining yourself consciously. When you decide who you are, you begin with what matters to you. What principles guide your choices? How you treat people. How you handle challenges. How you respond when no one is watching. These answers build identity stronger than any title. Titles change. Roles change. Status changes. Values endure. Labels also encourage comparison. You measure yourself against others with similar labels. Comparison steals focus. Focus belongs on progress, not position. Deciding who you are without labels builds internal stability. Stability reduces anxiety. Anxiety often comes from trying to meet expectations that do not align with who you are. When you release labels, you allow complexity. You allow yourself to be many things, growing, learning, adjusting. You stop forcing consistency for appearance and start sidling consistency and values. People who define themselves internally handle criticism better. Criticism attacks labels, not values. Values provide grounding. Grounded people listen without collapsing. Labels often come with littles. You are this kind of person. You are not good at that. These limits are often inaccurate. Skills can be learned. Strengths can develop. Identity should allow expansion. Deciding who you are also improves decision-making. When choices appear, you ask, does this align with my values? Not, does this match my label? Values-based decisions feel steadier. Labels also affect relationships. When others define you, you may feel misunderstood. Misunderstanding creates frustration. Clarifying within it reduces conflict. This does not mean explaining yourself constantly. It means living consistently. Consistency communicates identity more effectively than words. When you decide who you are, you must decide who you are not. This creates boundaries. Boundaries protect energy. Protected energy improves focus. Many people avoid defining themselves because it feels final. Identity is not fixed. Values remain steady while expression evolves. Deciding who you are today does not trap you. It guides you. Without labels, you become more adaptable. Adaptability improves resilience. Resilience supports long-term success. Notice how often you describe yourself using labels. Replace labels with behavior. Instead of saying, I am this, say, I choose to act this way. Behavior can change. Choice empowers. Labels often excuse behavior. I am just like that. Choice removes excuses. Choice invites responsibility. Responsibility builds self-respect. Self-respect improves confidence. Confidence supports leadership. Leadership begins with self-leadership. Deciding who you are internally reduces the need for validation. Validation loses power when identity is clear. Clear identity attracts aligned opportunities. Opportunities that fit, feel natural. Misaligned opportunities become easier to decline. People may resist when you step outside labels. Resistance is normal. It reflects adjustment, not failure. When you live beyond labels, you inspire others to do the same. Quiet confidence influences more than performance. Labels often simplify people. Real people are complex. Complexity allows creativity. Creativity thrives when identity is flexible. Flexible identity encourages learning. Learning keeps life engaging. When you choose values over labels, you become less defensive. Defense protects image. Values protect integrity. Integrity builds trust. Trust strengthens relationships. Strong relationships support growth. Deciding who you are without labels also protects mental health. Yushu, internalizing criticism meant for categories, not character. You also stop over-identifying with praise. Praise becomes feedback, not definition. Identity grounded in values allows steady progress through change. Change becomes opportunity, not threat. Threat perception drains energy. Opportunity perception builds energy. This shift changes how you approach challenges. Challenges test values, not labels. Values pass tests. Labels break under pressure. Define yourself by principles you respect. Work ethic, honesty, curiosity, kindness, resilience. These guide action regardless of role. Roles will change. Values remain. When you decide who you are internally, you stop asking, who should I be? You start asking, how should I act? Action shapes reality. Reality reinforces identity. This process takes time. It requires reflection. It requires courage. Courage grows through practice. Practice begins with awareness. Awareness leads to choice. Choice creates direction. Direction builds momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence sustains effort. Effort aligned with values creates fulfillment. Fulfillment does not need label. Decide who you are without outside labels, and you will stop shrinking yourself to tight descriptions. You will expand into who you choose to become. That decision gives you freedom. Freedom gives you strength. Strength allows you to live intentionally. That is how identity becomes power. Number 10, build your life based on self-understanding first. Everything else comes after that. Most people build from the outside in. They chase income, status, approval routines, and expectations. Then they wonder why success feels heavy or empty. The order matters. When the foundation is wrong, the structure struggles no matter how impressive it looks. Self-understanding means knowing how you work, not how others expect you to work. It means understanding your energy, your values, your limits, your strengths, and your fears. Without this understanding, life becomes a constant experiment driven by pressure. With it, life becomes intentional. Many people copy formulas because formulas feel safe. Someone else did it, so it must work. What they forget is that formulas ignore personality. They ignore temperament. They ignore values. What works for one person may drain another. Self-understanding helps you choose systems that fit instead of forcing yourself into systems that do not. When you skip self-understanding, you build a life you have to escape from on weekend. You live for breaks, vacations, and distractions. That is not freedom. That is survival. A life built with self-understanding does not require constant escape. It feels balanced even during effort. Self-understanding starts with honesty. Honest assessment of what motivates you and what does not. Some people are driven by challenge. Others by contribution. Some need variety. Others need structure. None of these are wrong. Problems arise when you ignore them. When you build life based on self-understanding, your goals change. They become personal, not borrowed. Borrowed goals feel exciting at first, then empty. Personal goals feel meaningful even when progress is slow. Many people feel pressure to build fast. Speed without alignment leads to collapse. Alignment may slow the start, but strengthens the finish. Strong foundations hold weight. Self-understanding also shapes how you manage time. You stop filling every hour to look productive. You focus on what matters most. Focus reduces stress. Stress often comes from doing too much that does not matter. When you know yourself, you choose environments wisely. You recognize where you thrive and where you shrink. Environment influences behavior. Behavior determines results. Without self-understanding, feedback feels personal. With it, feedback becomes information. Self-understanding helps you accept trade-offs consciously. Every life choice includes trade-offs. Awareness allows you to choose which trade-offs you accept. Unchosen trade-offs create resentment. People who lack self-understanding often chase balance without clarity. Balance is personal. What feels balanced for one person feels restrictive for another. Understanding yourself helps you design balance instead of copying it. Building from self-understanding also protects mental health. You stop measuring yourself by standards that do not match you. Measurement mismatch creates chronic dissatisfaction. When you understand yourself, you communicate more clearly. You ask for what you need. You say no when necessary. Clear communication prevents burnout. Self-understanding strengthens discipline. Discipline aligned with purpose feels lighter. Discipline without purpose feels punishing. Many people confuse self-understanding with overthinking. It is not about constant analysis. It is about awareness, guiding action. When you understand your values, decisions simplify. You stop weighing every option emotionally. You filter choices quickly. Self-understanding also shapes financial decisions. You spend differently when you know what actually brings satisfaction. Mindful spending reduces regret. Relationships improve when you know yourself. You stop expecting others to complete you. You contribute from wholeness. People who build life without self-understanding often feel lost during change. Change shakes borrowed structures. Self-understanding provides stability during tension. Understanding yourself also improves learning. You learn faster when methods fit you. You stop forcing approaches that frustrate you. Leadership begins with leadership. Self-leadership requires self-understanding. You cannot guide others without guiding yourself. Building from self-understanding also improves resilience. You know what restores you after setback. Recovery becomes intentional. Many people wait for clarity before acting. Clarity grows through action, guided by awareness. Action and reflection work together. Self-understanding helps you forgive yourself faster. You see mistakes as feedback, not identity. When you know yourself, you stop chasing constant motivation. You rely on habits aligned with values. Habits carry you when motivation fades. Life built from self-understanding feels coherent. Parts of life support each other. Work supports health. Health supports focus. Focus supports growth. Without this foundation, life feels fragmented. You succeed in one area while struggling in another. Fragmentation drains energy. Self-understanding also helps you choose the right pace. Pace mismatches cause stress. Right pace sustains progress. You do not need to have everything figured out. You need enough understanding to choose the next step wisely. Building life this way requires patience. Patience is strength. Rushing without clarity costs time. Self-understanding grows over time. It deepens through reflection and experience. Stay open to learning about yourself. Do not compare your progress to others. Their foundation is different. Comparison distorts judgment. When you build from self-understanding, you accept responsibility. Responsibility empowers. Empowerment maids confidence. Confidence does not come from pretending. It comes from alignment. Aligned lives feel simpler. Simplicity frees energy. Energy fuels creativity. Creativity keeps life engaging. Engagement sustains effort. Effort with values creates fulfillment. Fulfillment does not depend on applause. It depends on integrity. Integrity is built through alignment between values and actions. Actions guided by self-understanding feel honest. Honesty builds self-respect. Self-respect strengthens boundaries. Boundaries protect focus. Focus builds results. Results reinforce confidence. Confidence encourages growth. Growth deepens self-understanding. This cycle strengthens over time. When challenges appear, you respond instead of panic. You know who you are and what matters. When opportunities appear, you evaluate instead of chase. You choose intentionally. This approach does not eliminate difficulty. It gives meaning to effort. Meaning sustains effort longer than pressure ever will. Build your life based on self-understanding first, and everything else becomes easier to organize. You stop fixing symptoms and start strengthening foundations. Strong foundations create lasting success. Lasting success feels calm. Calm does not mean passive. Calm means grounded. Grounded people move steadily. Steady movement reaches far. That is how a life well lived is built, from the inside out.